Welcome, everyone, to the German J Podcast. I'm Most Uncle Jimmy. With me is guest host Jeff Troidvania. We're recording this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. You also I cannot talk tonight. You can also become a member of this podcast, get extra podcast content every single month, except for we didn't do that a lot this year. So sorry about that. I need to change the intro. But forget about that. Forget about that, guys. Tonight, Drip is fired again. He has all the sounds. I gotta run the soundboard myself. But he's fired again because he didn't buy Metroid. Boo, boo him, Jeff. Shame. But Jeff didn't just buy it. Jeff, his full name, legal name in the United States of America, Jeff Troidvania. That's what he is. It's what he does. It's what he do. He's about that life. Ball's not life. Yeah. Metroid's life. And that's why Jeff is on the show tonight. Jeff, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Doing really great. How about you?
I'm doing fine. I'm still getting over that little sick I was dealing with. And it's been a few days of mucus free, mostly. So that's been good. So I've been getting back into the beverages just on occasion, the one after dinner, or mainly podcast nights. But I got the... Oh, yeah, Fanta zero sugar. Love it. How do you say Fanta, Fanta? What do you say? What is that called?
I say Fanta, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
I always called it Fanta for whatever dumb reason. I think it was like the commercial, like Fanta.
Yeah,
Fanta?
The commercial did the song.
Yeah. So I always called it Fanta. I don't really. I still kind of say Fanta. Not gonna lie, but I just can't say Fanta. I'm trying to avoid the Midwest accent as much as possible because I lived here for so long, and that's just Fanta, that's just playing right into the I gotta get some Fanta, don't you know? I'm not doing that.
Oh no.
I still say Fanta. I feel like that keeps me grounded. The Big Week segment brought to you by Fanta. I got Coors Light, just chilling, beer of the week, delicious. Take a sip, enjoy it. Not sponsored. I didn't mean that to sound like an ad, but it sounded like an ad. Drink it, sip it, enjoy it. Not sponsored yet. Coors, hit me up. It'd be kind of funny if Coors wants to sponsor us. We've been like the Bush Boys with the Bush Apple for so long. But hey, Coors, hit us up. We'll dethrone it until they bring out Apple again. Good to have you tonight, Jeff. And if you guys want to follow Jeff, his links are in the description. So make sure to do that. But first, before we get to Metroid and our thoughts on the game and everything like that, there's a little nuggety-doo we got to talk about regarding Metroid Prime 4, and that is the sales numbers. Ooh. Now, we don't have a lot of numbers, if any, actually. There's actually only one number that I could find. It's a percentage. And that is that the sales for Metroid Prime 4 are down 15% in the United Kingdom compared to Metroid Dread. Have you seen this report yourself, Jeff?
No, I have not. I haven't really been keeping up with the sales numbers. Also, Nintendo, for a publicly traded company, they're kind of tight-lipped on that stuff sometimes. Yeah,
they are. I don't ever remember anybody mentioning the UK specifically only. I feel like that's like a weird market to highlight. Mm-hmm. I think Japan and the United States are their two biggest markets. That would be what you'd want to highlight if you're trying to bring one number to the table like that. So already off the top, I'm not really sure how much stock we should even put into this. I'm sure there's a lot of channels right now trying to tell you that, oh my God, Metroid Prime is failing. And, come on. It's so early and it's the UK.
Unfortunately, Metroid has historically been the Nintendo franchise that doesn't sell super well every time. And I think it deserves to be one of the franchises that sells well, but I don't know if it's the setting or since it's kind of it's supposed to be space sort of horror.
Yeah.
But it's
hey, there's a couple times there's a couple times in this game it's Metroid Prime 4 it's got some horror-ishy vibes so far. I mean, just recently getting to the snowy area, I'm sure you're in a similar spot than I am. There's there's some things they're dead or alive, and you walk up to and you crack the glass to look at it if you know what I'm talking about, and they just they look kind of spooky. They was ooh. got chilly vibes. The music, the atmosphere, I don't know, I feel like someone's gonna jump out at me any second. And I was like, ooh, it was a really good feeling.
Very unsettling the entire time. So unsettling.
Yeah, and I love it. Like, I love it. Like I turn the volume up and I make my lights purple, turn the lights down. Like it's great. Anyway, we're not talking about that. So for context here, we're comparing it to Dread. So Dread sold 850,000 units in the U.S. during its launch time, or like the October 2021, and that was the fastest selling Metroid game in the UK. I'm not sure that should be US or UK. I got these. Some of this stuff is off of like Google AI, so like Gemini. So it's probably like inaccurate in some way. So we're not trying to like exactly talk about numbers, crunch them or anything tonight. So just getting the vibe here. But basically, Metroid Dread was the best selling game, and essentially 15% down Prime 4 as compared to Dread in its launch time. And more context, Dread sold 3 million lifetime, and lifetime's in quotations there because the stat I got was from 2023, as of 2023. So I don't know where it's at now. It's nearly 3 years later. 2 years plus.
Reporting on it.
Yeah. Speaking of Nintendo kind of being lackluster about certain things, they kind of stop reporting on it. So we don't really know exactly where Dread's at right now, but basically it's around 3 million, and that would be the best-selling Metroid game. Is that correct, Jeff?
I think so, yeah. Other than...
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah. So I just wanted to shout out Chess. It's a rare Chess sighting in the chat. Guys, we just had Chess on the show a few weeks ago. Make sure to go check that one out. But Chess, what's up, man?
Oh, hey,
Good
Chess.
to see you, Bosch. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, Chess. Hopefully, if you can make it. But yeah, so Dread sold about 3 million. Let's talk about these Metroid Prime sales. I think I got this number here. 83% was Switch 2 numbers. Switch 2 sales versus 17% was on the Switch. That's actually interesting to me. That only 17% was on the Switch 1. I actually expected that number to be a bit higher. How do you feel about those numbers?
I imagine a lot of people are buying it to go with their Switch 2s. A lot of people probably bought Switch 2 for it, so that probably makes sense.
True.
Yeah, like it's does that, I mean, I don't know what these numbers account for, because I know we both bought it, the Switch 1 version digitally, and then bought the upgrade. So does
that's
that
a good point.
That? Like,
yeah,
what does that count? Is that counting physical sales only?
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Two good questions. I'm not sure either one. I know that like the upgrade thing has been like a question of like how they're counting that. I think like games like Tears of the Kingdom that has like a Switch 2 upgrade, that those upgrades that were like $10 counted as Switch 2 sales for other games. So I don't know that for a fact, but I remember at the time when I was looking at the stuff for the podcast, covering that stuff, it was like a question to me, like, are we counting the upgrades as Switch 2 titles? Which you kind of should in a way, because it is, but like, because how it gets a bit confusing and wacky, because what if you bought a physical Switch 1 game and then upgraded it digitally for Switch 2? I mean, it can get a little wacky and wonky. So I don't really know if we should put too much stock into those numbers at all anyway, because I don't know how accurate they can even possibly be, because it's just the way Nintendo has this all set up. But either way, that is, if it's somewhat accurate, that is interesting that 83% is Switch 2. I just would have thought Switch 1 would have been higher, but who knows? Anyway, and it's number 3 in the charts from you. Again, this is the UK, because that's all we got right now.
This article that you put in the chat is Nintendo Life.
Yep.
Which is based in the UK anyway, so they focus on that.
They do cover US stuff too, but yeah, you're right. They are based in the UK.
Yeah.
So it's number 3 in the charts, and there's 2 games in front of it, which one isn't very surprising, and one makes a lot of sense for the UK charts. So number 2 is Mario Kart World. That makes sense, period, because it's Mario Kart World, especially because we're selling Switch 2s that has a copy that goes with it. I'm sure that's accounting for it as well. Most people are buying those, especially right this moment, because I think still in this moment in time, even when you're listening to this a couple days later, they're selling the like most retailers are selling the bundle for the same price as without the game. So $449. So if you guys did not buy Switch 2 yet, this is the perfect time to do it and get free Mario Kart. That's going to be the best sale probably ever. Because I suspect these things are going up in price sooner rather than later. Just like the rest of the market, especially with the whole RAM thing going on right now. And like, I haven't even scratched the surface of what that means for like the Switch. But if you guys are on the fence with the Switch, you're like, oh, I'll get it later. Do not. If you have the money now, get it. I promise you, I'm not trying to sell it to you because I'm a homer. I'm trying to sell it to you because if you're trying to buy one, like I'm not trying to sell somebody who's not trying to buy it. If you're trying to buy one anyway, you just need to wait for whatever reason. Stop waiting. Because right now is the best time because they've not raised the price yet because they will, and the game's free. Buy it now. It's a
real weird time. It's a really weird time for electronics because look at the Switch 1. Switch 2 came out and they raised the price of the Switch 1.
Right.
Like normally when a new thing comes out, you lower the price of the old thing.
Right.
But
we live in a weird timeline.
More expensive now. Yeah, it's just crazy. So to think, oh, I'll wait until there's a sale. The original Switch almost never went on sale. I can't even remember a time that it did.
Not officially for sure. I mean, you could find it for good deals places if you search for it. There was a large period of time between like 2020 and 2021 to 2022, somewhere around there. There's a large period of time where like you couldn't even find one for retail price. Yeah. Because of the shortages. So I mean, like it's been a weird half decade of console gaming. Yeah. And I mean, maybe just gaming in general. Yeah. So Mario Kart, not surprising, should probably be ahead of it, especially because Metroid's not historically a high seller. So Mario Kart should be in front of it for multiple reasons. But number one on this list is EA Sports FC, aka or used to be known as FIFA. You know that series. And it's in the UK. That's number one. That makes a lot of sense. So FIFA's selling number one, Mario Kart's number two because it's Mario Kart, but also because it's with all the bundles. And number three is Metroid.
That's not buy Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly. It's number three is still pretty good. Yeah, but number three is still pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good margin, especially for a game that doesn't sell that much. I kind of already mentioned this and asked you already, but is this expected to you? Do you think Metroid's in trouble getting takey with you?
Metroid's like I said, it's historically a franchise that does not sell super well, but it has like the fan base is like super loyal. Yeah. So
are they? They're not in our comments, that's for sure.
That's not the fan base. That's
well, they say they are. They say, my game has been tainted. How dare they? I'm not buying it. Like
none of those people played any of them. I guarantee you, or they never played this one, or any of the. Like one guy literally was on. I had watched a TikTok, and then he said multiple times, "Well, I've never played any Metroid Prime games, but Metroid Prime 4 is ruined and it's terrible and it's bad." It's like, what are you talking about, man?
How do you know?
Like he's just like, I've never played any games in the Metroid series. So, but this game's terrible and all the other games are better than it. It's like, what are you using to compare it?
Yeah, that's
prayers. Like, get out of here. Get the fuck out. Like, get out of here.
That's a wild take. If you admit that you've never played the franchise and then you're trying to give your opinion about it and say that it's ruined. That's like a food critic. It's like, yeah, I heard about that, the old cheesesteak. That's the worst food I've ever had. Well, I've never had it, but that's the worst food I think anyone's ever eaten. Like, what are you talking about? Like, huh? Eat it and then tell me.
Yeah, seriously. It's just people are crazy. Like,
yeah, just that's a lot of our comments, Jeff.
It's a quick block on any social media. If you admit to never playing a game and then talk about how the game's bad, I immediately will just block you because I know that you're farming for the negative comments. Mm-hmm. Like you just
I use it to my advantage on the YouTube channel because I don't give a shit. Like people know what YouTube comments are these days, especially these days. So like if you're going down, that's like you're signing a waiver when you go into the YouTube comment section for any YouTube channel. You're signing a waiver to yourself that what you see, what you read is your discretion and your fault if you were injured while you're there. So I like poking the bear while we're in there, just like messing with people. I'll say shit, and I'm like, whatever. I don't even care anymore. Like, Drip used to get mad at me. Drip gets really mad at me, or used to at least when I like poke the bear in the comments. I'm like, dude, like it only helps our videos. Like, It only helps the engagement. Like the numbers get inflated because we're going back and forth. Like whatever. That's the only. It doesn't do any harm. Like again, you're signing that waiver. So if you don't want to get in there, don't sign that waiver and just let me engagement farm these idiots who are coming in here trying to tell me bullshit. So anyway, let's talk about Metroid. Shocker. This is a quote that I copy and pasted from Google Gemini, so hopefully this is true information. But it says, while not officially confirmed, Metroid Prime 4 is reported to be Nintendo's most expensive game, with rumored development costs exceeding $100 million due to the complete restart. Jeff, that's true, right? I believe that is true. It's probably the most expensive game Nintendo's ever made.
It could be. I mean, I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, it could be because they had I think it was Bandai Namco. I don't know if it was confirmed it was Bandai Namco, but whoever,
I believe that's what I heard is Bandai.
Yeah. So if let's say it is, so Bandai Namco made of almost playable. They had a playable alpha demo. At from what I understand.
Yeah.
And then the people at Nintendo played it and they were just like, no. They just said, no, thank you. Bye now. And then they told Retro Studios to make it.
Yeah.
I imagine though, but because of how Metroid Prime 4 is playing out now, like no spoilers, but like I imagine they handed the keys to Retro Studios and they're like, please just do what you do. I make a game like how you have made them.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about what they did because I can't. It's spoilers. I like it. Good. But yeah, it's expensive game. Okay. Exceeding 100 million is, and I got some comparisons here. So, we talked about it a minute ago, like Metroid doesn't sell very well. The highest selling Metroid game ever is Dread at 3 million. That's not very much. But 100 million is expensive, Jeff. That's expensive. So in order to recoup their money, they're going to sell some copies. They likely will lose money on this game if it sells like it's trajecting early to be. But I want to give you some information here. Oh, you have something to say?
I was going to say if it sells less than like 1.5 million copies, they're absolutely going to lose money. But I don't think that'll happen.
Well, we will have to see. I mean, 1.5 million would be low. I would think it'd be low, but it's realistic. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But anyway, so some other games to kind of compare this to. Games that are expensive. Again, I say expensive because we don't actually know the numbers. I'm going to give you guys some wild, large ranges of millions of dollars because there's no concrete information on how many millions of dollars they costed Nintendo to develop. But ballparks, it's within the same, maybe range of these are the most expensive games. Starting with obvious two games, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom and Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Both of those are over $20 million. Over $100 million, rumored reportedly to how much those costed. So they made their money back on those. I feel like probably instantaneously. But that doesn't mean that they were not expensive. They were certainly very expensive to produce. They both sold. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom sold 22 million ish. Breath of the Wild sold around 33.5 million. Way more than Metroid, but two examples of games that probably cost around the same to develop for different reasons. They sold a lot. Smash Bros is another game that people say is very expensive for Nintendo, around 20 million to 100 million. So we don't really know, but it was expensive to make, and that game sold a lot as well. It was 36.9 million as of right now, late 2025. So that game sold a lot, but it cost a lot too. But they made their money back.
Is my audio not synced? That's what.
Yeah, it's unsynced. I honestly don't care. I don't really care.
Well, I was gonna say it could be that my mustache does make it look like my mouth isn't moving the same way that I'm speaking sometimes. So it could be that. But I mean,
you're basically a Muppet, Jeff. I mean, let's just be real, and we love you for that.
I'll literally watch my videos back and be like, "Is this synced right? Is the audio right?" Be like, get real close. I'm like,
get the readers on.
Yeah, I'm like, no, it's right. It's just if my mustache gets too long, like it covers even part of my bottom lip, so you can't even really tell sometimes.
How do you do that? I can't. Right now, it's too long for me, and it's just tickling my upper lip, and that's too long for me. Like that shit needs to be higher. I can't stand this. Like, Ugh, it's when I'm eating something. I fucking eat the mustache.
Yes.
Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Anyway, yeah, you're a little unsynced, but I don't care. If you don't care, I don't care. We're fine.
It's fine.
Anywho.
I'm a little unsynced anyways in life, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good life lesson, kids. Sometimes I was going to say something and I just real time censored myself, so I'm going to stop right there. Anyway, there's one more example of a game that was very expensive to make that potentially is going to sell less than Metroid Prime 4 will, but they keep making this game, so it bodes well for Metroid. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Apparently, this is the weirdest range I've seen. 18 million to 120 million. So nobody fucking knows how much this game cost to make, but it was expensive. As expensive as Metroid Prime 4? I don't know. Maybe not, but it was still expensive to make. And that game to date sold 953,000, not even a million, 50,000 units shy of a million units. So that game, if it was 120 million, lost money for sure.
Yeah.
And they probably and there's a lot, and that was not the last Xenoblade game. There's other Xenoblade games after that, or was that the most recent Xenoblade game? I don't really know.
Chronicles X was older.
That's what I thought. I think it was Wii U era.
They re-released. So is this including
this number is including the re-release? Yes.
Oh, so that 120 million might be including the money they spent.
Maybe. Google Gemini information. I'm not entirely sure if all this is 100% accurate. But it's hopefully it's ballpark here. We'll just say million units, and that's not gonna make that money up. Even if it was like 18 million, that's probably like broke even. I don't really know how this works, but it's probably not a high profitable game. They keep making the game. They make Xenoblade games, every 3 to 4 years or something like that. So I mean, they're making the games.
I think it's just with Nintendo and the fact that they know that if they put out a Zelda or a Pokemon game or a Mario game, that likely it's going to sell a lot of copies and make more money than they put in, way more money than they put into it. Right. Especially with Breath of the Wild, that they printed money with that game, but that allows them a little bit of headroom to mess around and re-release stuff and come up with some new things or put new titles out in franchises that maybe didn't have a lot of sales otherwise, but they're not like Microsoft, right? Where if every game, if a game didn't make 5 trillion% profit within the first 3 seconds, the whole studio gets closed. It's not I mean, who knows? But
Justice for Hi-Fi Rush.
Been like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got Perfect Dark. Man, I'm so mad about that.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say too, before you said all that, I was going to say thank God Nintendo, is the way they are. Now, out of context, that sounds like I am just sucking the balls of Miyamoto. But what I mean is that they got these franchises like Zelda and Mario that just are profit machines, and that's all they could ever put out, and they'd be fine. But they take the time to put out a game like Xenoblade, which has such in comparison, small audience. Metroid, in comparison, such a small audience. Probably not very profitable if they're even profitable. But they care. They actually care, which I love about Nintendo. They actually care to make these, because if this was, like you said, if this was Microsoft, Xenoblade, what are you doing? Get out of here. Stop, get out of my face. You cost me too much money, But they don't care. They still make the game. So, I can get into the takey things of do you think Metroid's in trouble? I think we can agree that it's probably not. It's probably not, because Nintendo, even if it sells much lower than they're expecting, it's probably fine, because the reaction to this game, while there's a vocal minority of people, morons, not people, they're morons, who are saying bullshit about it.
Yeah.
And even the fact that it's only an 80 and not compared to the 90s the other games are, it's the best game on the Switch too. Is it? Is it?
It's the best Nintendo first-party game in my opinion, but I know people.
In your Metroid glasses.
Yeah. I would say it's fair to any of the things that Nintendo released that are like they're the release for Switch 2, even if it was a Switch 1 and Switch 2 game. If someone said that game was their favorite game, I think it's all fair. So,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, I think this is the best that the Nintendo has made, at least so far.
And I kind of spilled the beans too early here. Beans! But we're going to segue right into the Metroid Prime portion of this episode where we're talking about, the review, kind of. It's kind of a review. It's not, because we didn't finish the game, and I'm certainly not a game reviewer. I'm sure Jeff is much better at it than I am, but he's not necessarily prepared to give you guys a comprehensive review tonight. But we're going to kind of talk to you guys about the game, how we feel about it so far, and ultimately leave you with a question of, where is this game ranked with Nintendo's Switch 2 titles right now? So I'm just going to kind of talk about things, and you can feel free to interject whatever you want, talk over me, it's fine. The atmosphere of this game, we kind of touched on it earlier, is top notch. Like it is.
Yep.
Perfect is the word I want to say. It's not like perfect as in the best game ever, but it's the atmosphere is perfect for what it should be. It's not a horror game. It's not a shooter, traditional shooter, first-person shooter. Right. It's it's not a kid's game, but it's not necessarily like an adult-only game either. It for what it is, the atmosphere is perfect. It's that little horror-ish vibe without actual jump scares, anything real. But any second you feel like there could be a jump scare, which is why it's perfect. Like you probably there might be one or two in the game. I don't know. Maybe I missed one, or maybe there might be one later. But like it feels like at any moment there will be one, and that's why I love the atmosphere so much. It's beautiful. It's got, and I wrote here like it's got horror-y, exploration-y, and sci-fi vibes all in one. Like it's a horror exploration sci-fi. That's a beautiful combination. I love that. Tell me your thoughts about that before I keep talking.
Yeah, there's like it's almost like fantasy too, because like it's like a lot of the art design, especially like even across the board, like there's a lot of colorful, like fantastical, like stuff, and like the music and like the like how everything is just drawn and whatever. It's just, I think it's not like hyper realistic, right? It's not like there's an alien game from the movie Aliens or whatever, where like everything was like metal, dark gray, and like the same color. It's not like that. Everything is like there's so many colors, right? You're walking through the forest, everything is like bright and colorful. So it's like it's not like I don't know, dark and drab like a lot of hyper realistic games are. But I don't know, like you go into like Fury Green and that music starts playing, and it's definitely the music there is definitely inspired by Phendrana drifts from like the first Metroid game, Metroid Prime game.
I didn't play enough of that game to know that. Yeah, it's very much inspired.
Yeah, it's just so good. I don't know, like I never feel like I'm taken out of it because of any other choices, really. Yeah,
the art style. I mean, we can talk about the art style. It does have an art style. It's not hyper realistic. It's not Call of Duty. It's kind of somewhere between like Halo and something else. I don't know. It reminds me of Halo. Does it remind you of Halo at all? Like in the art style? It also reminds me of the old Metroid games too. It's really not that much different than the past Metroid games. Just a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it does remind me of the first Halo.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff, like I don't know, especially like the enemies that you come across. I feel like they feel like they could have come from a Halo game, I think.
Yeah, I've heard that exact quote from elsewhere on the internet, which is what kind of I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like it does. We're not the only ones who feel that way. The other people too are feeling like hey, the enemies kind of feel a little bit Halo-y, which like it could have come from Halos with the like animations that they do and stuff. And yeah, it's very good. Yeah. It's a lot of the same from old Metroid games, but it's also got enough newish things that I feel like is makes it good. And I'm gonna talk about a little bit. It's probably like a random ass list I got here, but the controls I want to talk about. I feel like they nailed the controls, and that is important for me because that is the biggest reason why I did not like Prime Remastered. Is while it was better than the original Metroid in terms of controls system, it still was not. It was too true to its original form on the GameCube.
Yeah.
I did not like the controls of Prime 1. That's the biggest reason why I stopped playing it. And I was really worried about this one because I figured it was going to share a lot of DNA with Prime Remaster because it's basically the same engine. So I was like, are they going to just like do the same controls basically? Or no, it feels very modern.
Yeah, for Prime Remaster, I don't know if you ever played the original GameCube version of Prime 1.
For a minute and a half on the Wii U.
Yeah, so
to say that I did it.
On the GameCube, when using the GameCube controller, Metroid Prime 1, like, if you compare it to, like, Prime Remastered or Prime 4, like, both of those games have a right stick aiming.
Yes.
The original Metroid Prime 1 did not have, you could not aim around. You locked onto enemies and you shot. That was the only way that you could aim at an enemy, is using the lock-on.
Yeah.
It was, like, required, basically. So you couldn't aim around. That stick was used to change your weapon.
Yes,
I believe.
Hated that.
And then
hated that.
And then what was it? The D-pad or whatever was used to change the visor. And so when you translate that onto modern game controls and you give someone the right stick to use to look around, you've now lost an entire 4 buttons. So now you have to, like, I think the result was they had to have you press a button and then press the D-pad or something or whatever to like change around menus and stuff. And it made it a little clunky and weird. And like, if you're like in the shit, like you're really like in a big fight, a bunch of enemies, and you're like, oh, I haven't scanned that one enemy yet. It's like pain in the ass to have to like be like, wait, how do I get to that scan visor?
Right.
It's like, it doesn't really work.
And that is a good example. Like, I guess it was like a 2-button combination to get to the visor. And so I ultimately didn't scan a lot of things in that game. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I didn't like the game, because I was confused about what to do. And now that I've really learned now playing a lot of Prime 4 is that is the visor is telling you how to play the game, basically what you got to do without it's telling you it's pushing you in the directions what you need to do, not telling you what to do. It's like you scan this is a container. It'd be really cool if you fired it up with fire because it might melt. And it's like, oh, I should use that.
Really cool if you did that.
yeah. It's like giving you like nudging you.
That's how it is, though. Yeah. It's like this thing looks like it's weakened and an explosion would
it's not
something. And it's like,
if you were familiar with the game, it'd be obvious that that's what you need to do without scanning. But someone like me who's not that familiar with the series, that is exactly what I need to play this game. Is like just that little bit of a like, hey, idiot, it's got a crack in it. Maybe try those fucking bombs you got. Or it's like, but how do I get to my missiles aren't working? But what other bombs do I have? Like, hey, moron, your morph ball has got a bomb in it too. Try the morph bomb ball, fuckface. And I'm like, oh yeah. But it does it much more subtly than that.
When you scan something, it doesn't straight up tell you use a missile on this, which is I do like that. It's just like it'll say like, oh, an explosion will break this.
The concussive blast is the morph ball one. I love it's like what the
they're like, oh, this thing's highly flammable, and you're like, oh, and you get an item, it's like, oh, this shoots fire. You're like, oh, okay, right. So like that's what you need to use, but it's like it doesn't say like you need to use the fire shot that you'll get later. It's like no, it doesn't like
it doesn't go like press the right bumper button to select the fire blaster and light this ice on fire. It doesn't do anything like that. But that's exactly what it's telling you to do, just in a tasteful, like not hand-holdy way. But it's still it holds your fingy, not your whole hand. And I love that. Just take my fingy. I don't need the whole hand, just a little fingy. So I love that.
It's standing over there watching you walk up to the cashier and buy your ice cream. It's not like paying the cashier for you. Like, you're doing your own thing, but...
Right. Anyway, I forget what were we talking about that brought that conversation up specifically? Because I know we were talking about controls.
The controls, that was it. The controls, like, because we were talking about comparing it to the previous games. I have not used mouse mode. I've been playing entirely handheld, so I have not taken the Joy-Con off and used mouse mode. I need to try mouse mode on my TV, because this gaming monitor I bought myself off of fucking Newegg. It's not Newegg's fault. It's my fault. I bought this like off-brand KTC, which I know I probably shouldn't have done, but it saved me so much money and it gave me HDR and higher resolutions was what I wanted. And
and it said it was supposed to be 100 frames per second. Like it says 100 refresh rate, it's not 160. They literally lied. But that beside, this monitor, it's not the fastest. It's not. It's really not. This panel's not made for gaming. Like even with my computer mouse, it's bad. It's not very good at all. It's fine for like regular computer things, but anyway. So that's to say is that when I play mouse mode right here, which is where I want to play mouse mode, I don't have my camera set up right now, but I got this big old fat whole desk mouse pad. It was perfect to play Metroid on. I was like, oh, I can't wait to play Metroid, and then I get in there and the mouse mode feels good, but my input latency is pretty poor on this monitor. So I want to try it on my TV. I know my TV's got better input latency than this for sure. So I will try that before I say fully that I don't like it. But it's not that I don't like it. I don't prefer it. I still prefer the controls because controller controls because it feels so good with the Pro Controller. Oh my God. And I've actually added motion controls on the Pro Controller. And normally I don't do that, but sometimes I will. And this one just felt right. Instantly, I'm like, oh, wait, no, this feels right. Because you can lock on, then use the right stick, and it moves the hand around. I hate that mechanic. I don't like that at all. That's very much like the old game, right? It's like, why'd you... That's trying to appease the old fans still. I'm like, why do they do that? It's such a bad way to play a game. But it's way better than that. I find
myself actually, when I log on, I accidentally bump the right stick, and then you're not shooting at the enemy anymore. You're locked on, but I'm shooting over here. And I'm like, okay, I gotta just connect the lock, re-lock on, and then not touch it. But like, even if you just tap it a little bit, you're immediately like not hitting the target. So it's annoying. Yeah,
so my preferred, and I feel like it's the best way to play this game, is to use a Pro Controller and add motion controls on. And it kind of gets the best of both worlds because and on top of this, actually we'll just get right to this as well, kind of throw it into the pot of the conversation. I have been playing in 120 FPS, Jeff. I'm not sure what you've been playing on. I made the choice on my TV back there that supports it. I'm like, let me try this 120. Resolution is lower, but the textures still look the same. They look beautiful. They didn't change the textures at all. All it did was lower the resolution a bit. And good God, the smoothness is something I cannot go back to. I can't go back to it. I love how smooth it, way more than I thought. Like, I was like, I'll try this. Yeah, whatever. It's, no, like, this 120 FPS makes a difference in the game. Like, I went back to 60 to see, and I was like, it makes 60 look bad. Like, once you play the 120, go back to 60, I'm like, whoa. This, because I'm sensitive to resolution, but also frame rate. Like we talked about this in the show many times with Drip, he can't tell the difference between 15 FPS and 20 or and 50, whatever. But like, I'm very sensitive to that. And I'm like, I didn't think I'd be like that guy who's like, oh yeah, 120 is better than 60. But like, I am now because this is great. It's great. So smooth with the motion controls in 120. I mean, you're moving the screen and it's as smooth as it's smoother than real life. It's just like so nice. What are you playing on?
I've been playing in quality mode because I've been playing in handheld. Also, in my opinion, and I suppose that would change if I tried the performance mode, but Metroid Prime is slower of a game compared to a lot of the other games that I play. I play a lot of precision platformers, right? Metroidvania. So the higher frame rate of the game makes it easier to like get timing better. But Metroid Prime, even in like the thick of it, you're not moving around a ton. It's not super like crazy. Yeah. So 60 frames per second has been still really good. I do need to, when I play through it again, I'm gonna try the performance mode and see what it's like.
Yeah. So like, you're right. You're totally right about that. As far as like, it's fine. I'm not saying that 120, or I'm not saying 60 is bad. I'm saying that when I turned on 120, it changed the way I felt about the game and how I wanted to play it. So I was, for the first 4 hours, I played on quality mode. I never even considered it. I was like, I'm going to play performance, or I'm going to play quality mode because it's 60 FPS, and that's perfectly fine. And
you change it on the fly?
Yeah, just click the minus button and go into settings and just change it from quality to performance. It just.
I never even thought to do it. I guess I could.
Yeah, it's easy.
I never even thought to do it.
Yeah, it's super easy. I did it, and but again, like I said, 4 hours of quality mode without yearning for anything different. I'm like, this is fine. I love how sharp this is. But I just was like curious. I'm like, we're gonna talk about this game I know. So for the podcast, I'm like, let me just try 120 just because I want to be able to try everything, of the game that I can. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not going back. Like this is so nice. I think what it is the motion controls. It's that my game is actually moving a lot more than your game probably. Like literally, it's moving because of it's very sensitive. That motion controls is very sensitive. You can adjust the sensitivity, but it's still very like I noticed like when clicking in the D-pad shakes the whole screen because it's like that's how sensitive the motion control is. Just clicking in my D-pad makes the whole game like shudder a bit. Not in like a laggy way, just in like I've moved the controller way, even though I wasn't trying to. Right. Anyway, so my game's moving a lot more because of the motion controls are on, and I see that smoothness every second because it's my controller's moving a little bit all the time, and I'm gonna stop raving about it because it's probably getting annoying. But I love 120 FPS. If that wasn't clear, did I mention I love the 120 FPS mode? Anyway, what else I love about this game is the story mode or the story as well. I've been really happily surprised that there hasn't been too many cinematics, which I'm the kind of guy who wants more cinematics. I know that was one of the things people are complaining about. It's like, oh, there's too many. It's a cinematic Marvel thing now. Like, shut up. It's not. There's not too many. There's not too many cinematics like these people will make you think that there are. There is enough cinematics. I think that appease people like me who like those cinematic cutscenes and the people who don't. It's not over. It's not. It's just like after the tutorial, like the first 30, 45 minutes of the game where you're learning how to play the basic stuff. There's a lot of cinematics there, but once you get done with that, I mean, there's probably just one cinematic an hour, maybe two. Like there's not really many, and they're short. Yeah.
There's not. I mean, you'll get like a thing. You bring it to somebody or whatever, and then you'll talk to them for like a minute or. Really, they'll talk at you, and then you stare at them.
Yeah, because you don't say a word.
How it is. It's the same as doesn't say anything at all, but which is it was a little bit weird. But yeah, like there's it's a couple minutes here and there. It's not crazy, but like some of the times where you get into like I don't know. There's a couple of cinematics where it's like just crazy, and you're like, wow, this is really cool, and every once in a while, the game kind of pulling back and like showing me how awesome all the shit in the background is. Like I'm cool with that. Like I will be so focused. Like stop me for 1 second. And like the what's it called? The Volt Forge.
Yes. Oh.
It's in all the marketing material, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's right in the trailer of the game. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen Volt Forge.
So with like all the lightning and stuff, and like you show up there the first time and it pulls you back. And it shows the whole thing. And it's just like, it's such a cool experience where like they show all the lightning striking all the little spikes and stuff. And you're like, wow. Like that was like, I guess we could go on the atmosphere conversation as well. Yeah. But like it gives you moments that are like, you're in awe. And I think these Metroid games are like that. They have really cool stuff. We need more of that. We need it to pull you back and be like, and just show you like, this is the stuff you're looking at here is really cool. Like maybe look at it.
I feel like it might be more of a modern game thing to do that, like the cutscene thing. I think that is more of a newer-ish thing in video games, or newish, not new, but new. So yeah, the OGs are going to be upset. They're going to complain about it, but like in reality, like let's show off this beautiful game that they've created, even if just for 10 seconds. Just like stop the player, show them the atmosphere without them being able to do anything. Just like a cinematic pan of the atmosphere that they're currently in and soak that shit in. And then you get fired up, but to go fuck shit up in there in that Volt Forge. I can't wait. Like, what am I going to do over here? What's going to happen? Love it. I didn't add this, but I just saw Atomic Man post in the live chat here. Volt Forge music is incredible. What's about music?
Music is crazy.
I love music video games. I don't want it to sound like a negative, but I haven't really thought one way or the other with the music. I mean, it's good. I guess I have thought one way. The one way is a good way, but I really haven't been like, wow, it's amazing. But I think the reason that is because it's very atmospheric. It's very much like, it's not very much like, it's similar to like a Breath of the Wild music, where that game is all atmosphere. This game is not all atmosphere music. There's legit music in the game, but it's tends to be more atmospheric than melodic. And it just kind of blended into my environment. I think it just attests to how immersed I've been, that the music is just kind of blending into my experience.
The music definitely goes, like, it lends to your visuals so well. Too well almost in some cases. Like you're saying, like if you were to ask me what the Voltage music sounds like, I actually couldn't even tell you.
I couldn't. I don't know. I can tell you what the planty area is. It's like bah, 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 bah. It's very loud and like in your face, but like just the melody. The rest of it is very, like I said, like, you know, atmospheric. But yeah, I don't remember Voltage at all. But I'm sure it was great.
Full Metal Knee in the chat. So I love that you bring that up. That's one of the things that people say online all the time, right? How do you feel about desert music being behind a paywall, even though you spend half the game there? You spend like 20, I mean, unless you really like drive around it, like I did. Like I actually like unlocked every single one of the little hexagons on the map and like found all the things and marked them. But like if you're just playing through the story, you drive through it to get from one place to another, you probably spend less than a half an hour total in the desert.
I agree with that. And you and I we're in a very similar spot in the game, so we would both know like how much time you'd spend there. I would agree. Like if you spent more time than you needed to, you could get probably a few hours in the desert, I'm sure. But like,
there's a lot of stuff to collect, and that's really like, other than you driving from place to place, collecting there's like missile upgrades and stuff, and that's like, you know, well, there's a couple of puzzle shrine kind of things you can find.
Yeah,
but they also they lead to upgrades, so they're not necessary.
Sorry. Yeah, let's again, we're just kind of throwing everything I bring up is more or less me tossing it into the big pot of the conversation, so we can always go back to it. But like let's kind of talk about more of the cons now, at least some of my cons, and that the desert. Now, I'm not the same guy on the internet who's like, bah, it looks like PS3. Bah, it's so bad. Ugh, it's empty. I'm not that guy. But I will say, it didn't need to be this big and this empty. It either needed to be a lot more filled with things or a lot goddamn smaller. I don't know why they chose to make it so big. 100%. I'm not playing Metroid to explore. At least not in an open world sense. Because that desert is a big open world on the bike. And that's kind of silly. Because it's a point A to point B kind of game. I mean, they're holding true to the fucking doors still. I got the doors thing, and like you got the doors still, but now you're just kind of inserting. I think it's an experiment more than anything. They're experimenting with open world Metroid. And then Nintendo, as an open world game fan, especially with Zelda, I'm here to tell you, don't do this to Metroid. Don't make it an open world game, because that's not what it's bread and butter is. I think that open world desert makes it a worse experience. Not like it's a 0 out of 10. Just, I think it would have been better. It would have been a better experience without it. Therefore, with it, it's a worse experience. That's just kind of how I feel about it. And yeah, the fact there's no music is stupid. But other videos have been talking about this too. I'm just going to kind of quickly say that, it's the reason the music isn't in the game is because they're trying to make money. The reason the music isn't in the game is because they're trying to make amiibos relevant in some way with a feature. And that's the problem. It's Amiibo's fault, not profit. Like it's why Nintendo just get rid of the Amiibo functionality altogether. Just keep selling the plastic statues. I love them, as you can see, probably a bit too much. But just there's no need to force a feature upon them. Just give it to us and don't force the features onto the Amiibos. How do you feel about this?
I like the fact that the Amiibo have little NFC tags and they do stuff like.
I do too.
It is kind of like something from a past life. You know, the toys. What do they call it? Toys to Life.
Toys to Life
really hasn't been a thing for a long time. I think it would be a much bigger problem if the desert had music, had like an actual track that you couldn't listen to unless you bought the Amiibo. But all the Amiibo does is unlock a jukebox that you can play other areas' music while you're driving around. And from what I understand, and I can't confirm this because I have not completed the game, if you do 100% scans and you complete the game, then your next playthrough, when you go into the desert with the viola or whatever, you get the jukebox. It's unlockable by getting 100% scans, as far as I understand, but that's hearsay, I guess, because I don't know for sure.
That's what I heard too. I believe it. So I choose to believe it. It doesn't matter to me either way. I want to revise what I said. I'm not saying that like I don't like amiibos the way like functionality wise. I think that Nintendo doesn't like them. So like they don't like them. So they're just like, well, what's the least we could possibly do to still keep up with the functionality of them? Well, because that to hold true to like this like this is what amiibo are. The amiibos are not just toys; they're toys to life. So like, but like, then do something cool with them. Do something cool with them, like really cool and really unique that make it worth the extra price on top of the fact that just a cool feature. Or do nothing. Don't do this where it's like this little thing. And this game actually turns into a bigger thing because that pisses people off in this one. It's like, why would you piss people off like that? What they did is remove music in the game, although there is, like you said, it just kind of plays other areas of music. It removed them from having to make desert music and instead play other areas music in the desert. I think it was a stupid choice to have the desert entirely.
I would rather have had a desert track that plays
Agreed.
than to have a jukebox that you can lock in certain ways. Coffee says there are people saying that if you scan everything, the music remains locked. I have heard that too. I don't know. I am trying my best to complete the game with 100% scans, and then when I go to play it again, maybe we'll see. But the problem is that with that theory, because it's a theory as far as I can tell, because I haven't beaten the game.
Yeah.
But the last scan is the final boss. So you can't leave the final boss to get and drive around the desert and play music. Like you're done. Like you've passed the point of no return. So they're showing screenshots of it. Well, I mean, that's that then. I don't know what the unlocked jukebox thing is supposed to be. If it's supposed to be, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But
yeah. Anyway, cons, desert, better without it. I don't spend much time there like you, Jeff. I just kind of go where I need to go. And if there's something, if I see the green crystals, I will go get the green crystals. If I see one of those like, little puzzle dungeony things you got to do real quick to get something extra, I'll do that. But I don't go out of my way to search for them, is what I'm saying. So, I just go where I need to go. And the way that you get the desert is basically just a highway for me. I don't like veer off the highway at all. I take the highway to where I need to go, and that's it. So they should have just not had the desert. So that's the way I feel.
If anything, like you said, if they had it, make it smaller because you could have fit.
Yeah.
All the stuff that's in there, you could have fit it in half the size.
Oh my God, half? You mean like an eighth? I mean, really, like an eighth of the size.
Well, if it was, I'd say half at least gives you enough area in between the things where you have to actually find them. Yeah. Without them all being right next to each other. But yeah, like it's all missile upgrades and stuff. So it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me see any other cons here. I had trouble. I gotta be honest, guys. I had trouble writing cons for this game because I really do like a lot of it. And I'll get to my official. I think I already mentioned it already, but I'll get to my official rating when we're done talking about all of the features that we want to talk about here. Here, quote unquote. Here's what I wrote, and you could probably read this as here on the screen here, Jeff. Quote unquote. All capitals. Let me save, goddammit. Quote unquote. Let me save the game, Nintendo. Like, Jeff might disagree with me on this one. I'm not sure because I know Metroid games are like this, but like, for fuck's sake, I kid you not, I went an hour and a half. Like, you could look at my save file and where it auto-saved, an hour and a half. And I wasn't like exploring or doing anything crazy. I was playing the game as intended. An hour and a half between autosaves. And there were no places to save in between there. Why?
I had saved, and then the system had an update or something, so I had to do the system update. I just let it do it, reloaded the game, and the auto save was an hour before my manual save. Yeah, I totally get that. Auto saves should probably happen more often, but I disagree about how many times that there's save spots, because there's been so many times where I was like, I can save again. Like I literally just like, you complete like a small area of rooms and you go to the next room or the next area of rooms, and there's a save room off of it in one area, and I'm like, I remember older Metroid Prime games like had way fewer saves. Way fewer saves.
I can't play those. I tried them, and then I'm like, wait, fuck that. The ones on NSO, I try. I actually want to get into the ones on NSO, the ones that are available there, because I can save whenever I want. I did play a lot of, I think it was Fusion from the Game Boy Advance one. I did play a good bit of that on NSO because I could save whenever I wanted in mid jump if I wanted to, which I loved. I mean, I'm not saying that we need that in Metroid Prime 4. What I am saying is autosave should happen no less than every half hour. I'm around 20 minutes. I think it should be autosaving. There's no reason why it should be less than that. We live in 2025. It's the future. Our cars run on batteries now. Like, why can't my game save in 20 minutes? I don't get it. Like, I'm not asking for, I would love it, but I'm not asking for Zelda where it saves pretty much every like 5 minutes. That'd be great. But like, and I get why maybe you wouldn't want that. How about a toggle, please? We can fix this with a toggle, okay?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the auto saving much more often. I don't think we need more save rooms, but I do agree that auto save should be happening half an hour between your saves at the most.
I say
an hour and a half. That's too far.
My rebuttal to you is that I think they should double the rooms, and I say double because there's really not that many rooms, and I think they should double the rooms. Give or take. So it depends on the areas, because right now I'm in the snowy area like we talked about. I'm actually satisfied with the save areas in the I think it's perfect actually. Because I think it was like 30 to 45 minutes in between like save rooms where I'm at currently. And I'm like, that's acceptable. I'm fine with that. Like it's acceptable. I would prefer much more than that. And I get why you wouldn't, but I think it needs more rooms, not necessarily a ton, but doubling the rooms isn't really adding that many more rooms. There's only probably, fucking 2 rooms per entire areas. So like maybe have a 4? Can we compromise 3? More rooms I think we need, but more importantly, way more importantly, that autosave shit. Get that, what the fuck? Like that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
I wonder what's triggering the autosaves. Like,
I don't know. I don't get when it does save. Like sometimes it's like when you enter the Vault Forge we talked about. It saves. It says save at the bottom. Other than that, it's like, huh? What is even shoot? Sometimes I don't get it. I simply don't get it. Okay. I was going to add this to the here. You probably read it here. Quote, I'm a grown man with responsibilities. I got responsibilities. I can't be expected to marathon a game for multiple hours every time I want to play. Like, I don't have kids, but if I did, I imagine my brother probably can't play this game. He couldn't do it. It would have to be the only game he plays, so he could just press the power button to put it to sleep, so he come back to it later. Because that'd be the only way you could play this game, with a suspense state like that. Because you're gonna chase after your kids. Like I can only imagine. But like for me, who doesn't have kids, I hate the fact that like when I sit down to play a game, I'm like, okay, I got about 2 hours right now, maybe 2.5. I can play. And then what ends up happening is like I have to make a choice when I get to a save room in like 45 minutes. Because that's like, well, do I keep going, or like is the next save room going to be 2 hours from now? I don't got 2 hours. It's like that's what I don't like about it, and that's why I think there needs to be more rooms. But at least like there's the real solution, Jeff. Here's the real solution. Autosave every 5 minutes like Zelda, just like Zelda. But there's a toggle in the settings menu, and just like allow people like you to play the game as you want. And let me play as I want, because I can't be expected. Every time I walk into a door, it should be safe. Every time. Because I can't be expected to play the game for 2 hours. I got too many things I got to worry about. And like, I can't. So like, I don't know. I'm sure you disagree. That's fine. But like, the toggle would solve the problem. It lets you do it the way you want, and let me do it the way I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one solution. To change nothing but a toggle. So, but anyway, let me see my games. God damn it. And my last con that I could think of in my head here. Miles. Let's talk about the man who makes the videos numbers inflate every time I put him in the thumbnail. Miles. I always said Miles Morales. Wrong Miles. Miles Mackenzie. Let's talk about Miles Mackenzie. What are your thoughts on Miles Mackenzie, Jeff?
I think Miles is okay. Miles is me. That's me.
I wouldn't say he's you. I mean, you're
a
much
weird, nerdy kid.
I mean, like you're mellow. Miles is not mellow. I wish he was more mellow.
True. He's nervous as hell.
He's fucking Paul Rudd on drugs.
Yeah, I think he's fine. There was one time where I literally, like, I don't think I actually said it out loud, but I almost said "shut up" out loud because I was driving around. So I spent a little time literally driving, doing this, like on the map, like doing this, going up and around, like on the map of the desert to unlock all the little, like, the desert map is in the little hexagons.
Yeah.
And you have to like go to them to unlock it. Right. And so I wanted to map out where I found all of the things that like I couldn't get to yet. So if I saw like a little building, because there's like little buildings that are in the sand,
right,
or little like things that are glowing, and it's like, oh, you need to do this, whatever, when you scan it. And I put a little marker on there, and I did it. I went through all the little things, and as I'm driving around, and I'm like collecting little green crystals and stuff, Miles is like, "Hey, you got this thing. How about you go to this place?" And I'm like, "Listen, man, I'm doing my own thing. Like, leave me alone." And it was like kind of aggressive, like, "Hey, you need to go to this place." I'm like, "All right." But like, so it kind of skipped. So you're supposed to go to a thing and then realize that you don't have something that you need to be able to traverse it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're supposed to be like, then maybe he calls you and is like, "Oh, hey, whatever." But I spent so much time in the desert that I didn't get there yet. And so it automatically was like, just tell him. He called me. And he's like, "Oh, I bet you're having trouble doing this. You should go to this place." And I'm like, I didn't even do that. Like, I didn't go to the place to see that I couldn't do a thing.
Right.
Like, I spent my time driving around like a maniac. But yeah, like, I had said, though, online in a couple of comments, some videos where people were saying, "Oh, it's very handholdy because of that kind of thing." I'm like, but yeah, like Metroid Prime 1 didn't have like I said this before, they didn't have like a person speaking to you, but it did that.
Yes, it did.
Like, if you walked around an area for a little while and didn't like progress, like in the actual like story, like it popped up a thing on the screen and was like, "Hey, check out your map," or whatever.
And actually, Jeff, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it at all in this game. It doesn't, like, when you're in an area, I don't think he really ever talks to you. Almost never. It's really just in the desert where he's talking to you. Like when you're in like Vault Force, it keeps coming up and it's in the promotional stuff. Like, he doesn't really talk to you when you're in the area. In fact, like, you can summon him. you can call him on your Bluetooth. And most times I've tried to do that just to see if he would say anything that'd be helpful for me. It's like, "Oh, it's unavailable. You can't talk to him." So I'm like, "Oh, well, that's pointless." So like, you really, it's actually just isolated to the desert. It's the desert is the problem area for me, but he's really just talking to the desert. Go ahead.
They mapped the button to call Miles to a button that you use regularly for other stuff, and I keep pressing it in the menu. By accident. Yes.
And it's not, he doesn't say anything because you can't talk to him. So it just plays some stack that you can't skip. So it's like, I'm like,
you can't skip it.
you listen to
30 seconds.
Yes.
Of, like, you waiting for this thing to disappear so you can leave the menu.
Yes.
And it's like, 30 seconds. I may sound like a baby, but
no, you're right. I feel the same way.
30 seconds and just waited, not doing anything else, just waiting with nothing else going on.
I know what a modern problem this is, because
first world problems. It's just like,
no, it's not just first world, but just like the smartphone era problems. Because like these days we got fidget toys at our disposal. Back in the day when you took a shit, you had to like scoot over to the shower, grab like the shower gel so you could read what was on there, because that's what you did back in the day. You just waited to take a poop. You didn't have a phone, or like, I guess you could bring a newspaper in, but it was when you were a kid. Who's reading a newspaper as a kid? So anyway.
But yeah, like, it's just, it comes up and it's like no communication, and it just sits there, and I'm hitting all the buttons like a maniac, just like, please let me out of here so I can go back to playing. And it's just boy.
So Miles, I have been on record, Jeff, I'm sure you're aware of defending Miles before the game came out, and this is the first podcast I've done where I've actually played the game and we're talking about Miles. going back to what I was saying before the game came out, I was simply defending the fact that I thought he adds charm and character to the game. I'm here to tell you today that I was wrong.
I think he's a fine. I'm
not saying he shouldn't be there. But what I'm saying is he doesn't add any positive character to the game. I think he's a little annoying. Yeah. I think they should have toned him down. Now, did he ruin the game for me? Absolutely not. Does his presence there bother me to a point where I'm shaking at the boots to comment into the on YouTube videos of people I don't watch? No. So I'm still gonna defend my stance from those idiots who are like, he ruined it. The game didn't come out yet. He didn't ruin anything. And now that I played the game, still didn't ruin anything. However, he is way more annoying than I want him to be. He very seldom adds anything that I give a shit about. And I haven't really needed him to tell me where to go yet in the game. I've kind of just figured it out myself, which is something I wasn't expecting. I thought I would need that more help than I do, but I don't. I've learned how to scan things, so I'm good. Yeah. Or here's what I really do, Jeff. I go in Google Chrome and I look up a guide. I don't remember what guide I'm using right now, but anytime I get to a point where I'm getting to that point where I'm getting actually angry, legitimately, I've been playing for an hour and a half. The game hasn't saved. I don't know where to go, and I'm gonna rage quit. When I get to that point, that's when I go to my guide and just kind of scroll. I don't spoil the game for me. I just go to I find out where I am, and it just tells you what the next thing you should do is, and that's my solution. Miles is unhelpful. When I do need Miles, he plays static for me for 30 seconds that I can't skip. And when I don't need Miles, he's yelling at me in the desert. So Miles is pointless. But the guide has been really helpful for me. I needed that. But yeah, his dialogue is goofy, and yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb dialogue. It's not unnecessary. This was a mistake character in terms of how they wrote him. The character's fine. I think the character should stay. I like his addition to the game. I think the choices they made with the character as far as his goofy dialogue, overly goofy dialogue. I like the goofy. Goofy's fine. People are it's it's a mixture like Marvel movies. I kind of like those. I mean, I like those. And it doesn't ruin the game. Yes, it makes it more silly and less isolation in the moments that he's there, but it's not like it ruins the game. Chill, people. But he does make the game worse. I was wrong initially when I was defending him blindly. They could have done without it. I agree with the reviews I've seen now that played the game with 2020 hindsight. I agree with the reviews now. They're saying it would have been better without that. I agree now.
Yeah, it would be better with it. So he's a fine character. If he didn't call me in the desert to tell me where to go next, I think he would be fine. I don't need you to tell me that the thing. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Yeah. But you'll get a thing and you're it's obvious what you might be able to do with it. And then if you've driven around the desert at all and try to and you went to any of the offshoots and it told you oh, this is a elevator to this place, and it gives you the name one place called the Ice Belt, and you're okay, and you get a thing and you're oh, okay, I think I know where to use this. And you go out in the desert and you're in the desert for a second. And Miles calls you and is hey, you need to go to this area and use the thing I just gave you. I'm I didn't need you. You can't tell him to shut up. You can't not answer the phone. It's not like GTA or whatever, right? You have to it's
wait. How much more annoying would it have been if it just rang and you had to pick it up?
It stopped you driving and you just stood there with a phone in your hand and it's press A to answer phone call and just rang.
And it made you sit there until you answered.
Yeah. But you didn't listen, I play games all the time that do not tell you a single thing. They don't even tell you how to play or what the controls do. You have to figure it all out. And that's the thing I like. I have to figure it out. You could give me an item and I'm I know what to do with this, or an ability or whatever. I'm I know what to do with this, or I have an idea, or if I'll encounter a spot where I'm that's what I do. Those are the games I play, and for it to give me an item that's this thing shoots fire. I know what fire does. You don't need to tell me. You don't need to call me on my cell phone to tell me what fire does and where I should go next to use it. Please.
Well, here's my Miles impression. Well, hey Jeff. So if you go to that icy area, you gotta go there. Just go over there with your fire weapon. It's really cool and it's cold and you can blast things afire. Did you know that? Okay, bye. 10 minutes later, hey, Jeff, I know that you're driving around collecting green crystals and blocking things on your map, but did you know that you can go to the cold area, like I said before, and you could blast things with your fire? Did you know that? Okay, bye. 10 minutes later, Jeff, you're really annoying me out in the desert. I need you to go to the cold area. And yeah,
Luckily, it's once. It's not over and over again, as far as I've experienced.
It
marks it on the map, and then that's it for that one time.
Is it really? Honestly, I don't know, because I'm not in the desert long enough to even know. So
yeah, true. I mean, I actually did drive around a bunch after he's told me to go somewhere, and it didn't come back up.
Well, then there's even less people for people to complain about. There's less that's fine.
You like, hey, you need to go here, and it marks it on the map. You're good until you go there, and then when you come out of there, you'll probably call you again because he's needy.
Yeah. He's clingy.
He's
man.
Lonely.
At least he helps. He upgrades your shit. He's fine. It's whatever. He helps you out.
Yeah.
Relax, guys. Not you. Just the people complaining about Miles. Like, relax. Like, he's annoying. I agree with you. He's annoying. Now that I played the game and didn't judge before I actually played the game, now that I've played it, I can see. Yeah, he's overly annoying. They could have toned him down a bit. But he's a good addition to the game overall. His character is. They could have did some different things, but he's a good character. Yeah, I mean, I want to keep talking about the game, but I also want to play it more. So let's kind of wrap this little ditty up that we're talking about here. And I got my little wrap-up sentences. Let me read them to you, Jeff. I feel that the game has been a better experience compared to Prime 1 Remastered in every way that I've done it. The things that bothered me have been pretty much ironed out. There's still a few things that haven't quite been ironed out that bother me, but for the most part, like majority, the things that bother me about Remastered 1 have pretty much been totally solved in this one. I love that. I can't wait to go play some more, although it is getting late. Maybe I won't. That's the thing. Do I have 2 hours to play after this? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. And yeah, I think part of my issues from my Prime 1 experience were kind of my own fault, not really knowing how to play the game yet. And they're, so like I've learned that now with the scanning thing. Like, yeah, man, you gotta scan shit, and it really helps you out. And it's actually very rewarding and satisfying, honestly. The sound it makes and the stopping of the game for a moment just to sit there and scan with your psychic hand and shit. Like, I like it. I'm digging it. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole show is my opinion, but this kind of wraps it up. It kind of wraps it up here. Like, we're like, I really like this game. I think I mentioned to you before we start recording or streaming, but I'll say this: 8 out of 10 for Metacritic. Drumroll, please. I think is dead on. I don't think this game is like a 90 out of 10 or a 90 out of 100, right? It's not like among the best games ever. It's not that, but it's certainly not like ruined or garbage like a lot of the internet's telling you that it is. I think 80 is like the perfect compromise and good score. Like maybe like I'd give it like an 82.5, That's my official score, 82.5. That's my Metacritic score. It's good. It's good. And that's a good score, contrary to the people who are like, but 90 is better. Like, no, like, relax, guys. Like, 82.5 is a good score. But the score it's got at Metacritic right now is fair, and I agree with it. What about you?
I agree. 80 is good. The Metacritic has, like, a lot of places have two scores. They have the critic score and the like player voting score or whatever. That is 89.
There you go.
On Metacritic. So it is like, if you balance it out, it does fall somewhere in between there for me. I will say that I heard someone say something on TikTok and it totally opened my mind and made me realize that Metroid Prime 4 is a traditional Zelda game. It is not it's not a Metroid game. The desert's Hyrule Field. The Viola bike is Epona. Miles is Navi. And you go into a dungeon, you fight a boss and get an item, and that item is then used to help you get into a different dungeon.
It's funny that you bring this up because I haven't heard anybody say that yet. I've heard the comparison to Hyrule Field, but that was it. Like, I was like, oh, it's similar to Hyrule Field and Ocarina. Like, I can see that. But my own thoughts were that all the areas you play in, like the icy area or the jungle-y area or whatever, those are dungeons. They're a lot like dungeons, a lot like dungeons. And
Zelda, you get like
you just and all the other things that you just said, like really kind of puts it together for me. Like, wait, this is like an original Zelda game.
It's just a first-person shooter, sci-fi, fantasy sci-fi, or whatever, kind of like setting, a theme, or whatever. But yeah, it plays way more like a traditional Zelda game than it does a Metroid game. And I think that it's to its benefit because a lot of people like that formula, but it's
you as a
really
Metroid
game.
Yeah, sorry. You as a Metroid purist, like, does that bother you that it's not more like a Metroid game?
No, actually, it doesn't. I would really have liked it to be a little bit more like Metroid Prime 1, but I'm not mad about it. I like the way it plays. I'm having a good time. And if the next Metroid Prime games they make are like this one, I won't be upset. I think it kind of makes sense. As long as the 2D Metroids stay the same. As long as they stay the same. But, I play so many indie games too. So it's like those people that make their own games, they can make the games I want. Yeah. And the other games from the bigger companies can do a little experimenting. It's fine.
Is this kind of, in a weird way, Metroid's Breath of the Wild moment? If Maybe. This really is like changing Metroid somewhat significantly, similar to how Breath of the Wild changed the Zelda series, like, is this his Breath of the Wild moment? We've said it in the past in the show a lot, but for a different reason. Like, in the past it'd be because the game is like breaking out into a bigger audience and really kind of changing up the game how it used to be significantly, but for the better. And that's not entirely what this is, because I tell you right now, especially because the early sales numbers, this ain't going to sell 10 million in 3 days like Zelda did. So it's not the Breath of the Wild moment of it, but it's also not the kind of Breath of the Wild moment where it's like you play the game, it's like, whoa, this is so different. Because like Breath of the Wild, when you play that one, it's like, whoa, like this is immediately way different than any other Zelda you ever done. So that's not it either. But this is, in this regard, it's the Breath of the Wild moment because it's changed up the formula a little bit. It's a little bit less Metroidy and more Zelda-y in this comparison, which I like it. I like that comparison because I agree with it. I think it's very got like dungeon vibes of the original Zelda dungeon. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. What would be your score? My official score is 82.5. So what would be yours?
I'd say it's closer to 85 for me so far.
Yeah,
I think they would have to do I don't think we're close to, either of us are close to finishing the game. So there's still plenty of left to play. So far, I think it's very good. I think they'd have to do a lot. There'd have to be like an egregious misstep after another in order for me to really like lower that score. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will see, Jeff. And that's going to wrap up this episode. I've asked you guys for listening to this podcast. I think we're not going to do an after show. This show's gone long enough. I want to get Jeff back to his lovely wife. But for those of you in the stream, thanks for hanging out. All of you guys actually listening, watching the stream, watching the video. Appreciate you guys for being here for this one. It's been a lot of fun. If you missed any of this show, it's going to be re-uploaded to the Apple, Spotify podcast platforms and other ones as well. It also gets re-uploaded to YouTube later in the week as just a standalone video without the pre-show. And so make sure if you missed any, make sure to go back and watch it. But for now, we're going to sign off. And we're going to see you guys tomorrow night on this channel live, hanging. Jeff's going to be there, right? And we're going to be watching the Game Awards. And it's really not about the awards. It's about the game trailers and also how drunk we can get laughing at all of the bad awards and trailers and things. And will Nintendo be there? That'll be a nice little question. And that's going to be tomorrow. But for those of you guys listening right now, we'll catch you guys next week. You got to say later. It's Drip always says later.
Oh. Bye. I'm not Drip.
Nintendo, every single show.